All right, get ready, because today we're diving into some seriously mind-blowing stuff. What if I told you that artificial general intelligence, AGI, might already be here?
It's a possibility that's gaining traction, yeah, especially in light of some recent research. We'll be exploring some of that today.
Exactly, and just so we're all on the same page, we're talking about the OpenAI definition of AGI, an AI that can outperform humans at most economically valuable work.
So this goes way beyond, just playing games or writing poems or whatever. This is about AI that can do the work that really shapes our society.
And our main source for today's deep dive is a YouTube video from the iGrid channel. It's called New Research Proves AGI Was Achieved.
The titles may be a bit clickbaity.
Yeah, a little bit. But the content is genuinely fascinating. It unpacks some groundbreaking research from MIT that uses this special AI benchmark called ARC. And it's designed to be basically like memorization proof.
So ARC, or the Abstraction and Reasoning Corpus, was created by Francis Chollet. He's a pretty big name in the AI world. You might know him as the creator of the Keras Deep Learning Library.
Yeah, he's a legend.
So his goal was to create a test that could actually measure an AI's reasoning abilities, not just its ability to, recognize patterns in data.
Okay, so how does this ARC thing actually work?
Imagine visual puzzles.
Like with those little colored blocks, you have to fit them in.
Exactly. Grids with these shapes arranged in patterns. The AI has to figure out the rule behind the pattern and then apply that rule to a new grid to complete it.
Sounds simple enough.
For us, maybe. Humans solve these puzzles with like an 85% accuracy.
Really?
But AI has traditionally really struggled with this kind of abstract reasoning.
So this is why those results from the MIT research are so interesting?
Exactly. They claim they've actually achieved human-level performance on ARC using this technique called test time training.
Okay, test time training. I'll be honest, that sounds a little bit like cheating.
Yeah.
Giving the AI the answers before the test.
Not quite. It's not about giving it the answers directly. Think of it more like giving the AI the ability to problem solve in real time during the test itself. So instead of just relying on its pre-programmed knowledge, the AI uses test time training to explore different approaches, like testing out different hypotheses and seeing what works.
So it's like the AI is actively thinking through the problem,
Yes.
trying out different strategies until it finds one that works.
Precisely. And the results are pretty impressive. The MIT team achieved an accuracy of 61.9% on ARC, which matches the average human score.
Wow.
And here's the really interesting part. They did this with a relatively small AI model, only 8 billion parameter.
Wait, 8 billion parameters is considered small?
In the world of, cutting-edge AI, where models can have hundreds of billions or even trillions of parameters, yeah, 8 billion is actually pretty compact.
I guess that makes sense. So their success isn't just about brute computational force.
Right. This points to something more fundamental, a shift in how we're approaching AI development, a shift towards something called search algorithms.
Okay, so we've got ARC, test time training, and now search. What exactly do we mean by search in this context?
Search, in this case, refers to the AI's ability to kind of explore different pathways to a solution.
Like humans do when we're faced with a new problem.
Yeah.
We don't just immediately know the answer, we have to try different things out.
Right. Instead of being limited to pre-existing knowledge, the AI can actively search for new connections, new insights, testing various approaches until it finds the best answer.
So it's not just about pattern recognition anymore. It's about AI actually reasoning and problem solving.
Exactly. And this idea of search as this crucial component of AI, well, it's gaining a lot of traction. Even Demis Hassabis, the CEO of DeepMind,
Oh, wow. He's a big name.
he's been emphasizing how important search is, especially for true creativity in AI. He argues that the ability to kind of sift through a massive landscape of possibilities, that's what lets humans come up with, novel ideas, solutions. And it seems like that might be true for AI as well.
This reminds me a lot of OpenAI's O1 paradigm, which we've talked about before. It's this model that gets better, like the longer it's allowed to think during a test. This is another example of search in action.
The O1 paradigm, it's still pretty mysterious, to be honest, but it definitely hints at the power of these search-based approaches. The fact that it improves with more processing time suggests there are some pretty sophisticated search mechanisms at play, allowing it to continuously refine its approach.
It's pretty wild to think that we might be seeing a real fundamental shift in AI, one that moves away from just brute force data crunching and towards this more nuanced approach, focused on search and reasoning.
It is, and this shift could have, well, really profound implications for the future of AI, especially its potential to achieve AGI.
So if search is this crucial element, what does that actually tell us about, like, the path to AGI? What does this mean for us humans?
Those are all great questions, and ones we'll definitely be getting into. But before we jump ahead, I think it's worth looking at another example of the power of search in AI. This one comes from the world of games.
Okay, now you got my attention. Games and AI, always a fun combo.
So this example involves a card game called Hanabi. It's a cooperative game, so players have to work together to win. And researchers were shocked to find that by just adding a really basic search algorithm to the AI, its performance in the game, it just jumped dramatically.
Really, just a basic search algorithm made that much of a difference.
They were so surprised they actually thought there was a bug in their code at first. But after analyzing everything, they realized the search algorithm was letting the AI explore different strategies. It could actually make decisions based on this deeper understanding of how the game works.
That is wild. It seems like this just further proves that search, even in its most basic form, can unlock, like, a whole new level of AI capability.
Exactly. And as we develop even more sophisticated search algorithms, well, who knows what incredible breakthroughs we might see.
This is truly exciting stuff. It feels like we're just scratching the surface of what's possible with AI. But let's take a step back. What are the implications of this shift towards search?
It's a big question we have to ask ourselves. If search is the key to unlocking higher levels of AI intelligence, what does that mean for AGI? Are we on the verge of a technological revolution, or are there dangers lurking beneath the surface?
And maybe even more importantly, how do we make sure these incredibly powerful AI systems are developed and used responsibly? That's something we need to think about very carefully. Stay tuned, because we've got a lot more to unpack as we continue our deep dive into AGI and the role of search in its future. We're back and ready to continue our deep dive into AGI and the idea that it might already be closer than we think.
Right, and last time we kind of left things hanging with a big question. What does this new focus on search and AI mean for the future of AGI?
Yeah, we were talking about how giving AI the ability to explore different solutions, like actually search for answers, instead of just relying on what it's been trained on, could be the key to unlocking true artificial intelligence.
We talked about how adding even a simple search algorithm totally changed how well the AI could play that card game, Hanabi.
Yeah, it really surprised those researchers. But before we go any further, I think we need to step back and define what we mean by search in this context. It's not like the AI is literally typing stuff into Google.
No, definitely not. It's more about giving AI the ability to experiment, to try out different approaches to thinking about a problem.
So, like, instead of just being this massive database of information, the AI is actively trying to figure things out.
Exactly. It's a pretty big change from how AI has traditionally been developed, just building bigger and bigger models, feeding them tons of data, and hoping they'll learn to see patterns.
But it seems like that approach is hitting a wall, isn't it?
I think that's fair to say. That MIT research we talked about with the ARC benchmark and test time training, that really shows the limitations of just focusing on pattern recognition.
You mentioned that the MIT team achieved human-level performance on that ARC benchmark with a model that was actually pretty small compared to some of the giants out there. Why is that such a big deal?
Well, in AI, size usually means power. The more parameters a model has, the more data it can handle, the more complex patterns it can learn. So the fact that they got such amazing results with a smaller model, it tells us something important. It's not just about raw computing power anymore.
So we need to focus on making smarter models, not just bigger ones.
Exactly. It suggests we could achieve way more with less if we focus on developing AI that can reason, adapt, and learn, kind of like how humans do. And search plays a huge role in that.
Okay. I'm starting to see how this all connects. But let's go back to that question about AGI. Do you think this focus on search really puts us on a clearer path to actually achieving it?
It's definitely a big step in the right direction. Remember what Sam Altman, the CEO of OpenAI, said?
Yeah, he said something like,
This is the first time where I actually felt like we know what to do to reach AGI. And his statement, it lines up with all this new evidence we're seeing about how powerful these search-based approaches can be.
that's a pretty bold statement from someone leading the charge in AI research.
It is. It shows just how much potential there is in this new way of thinking. But obviously, the road to AGI is going to be long and complicated. There are definitely still challenges ahead.
Like what kinds of challenges?
Well, for one, we're still just beginning to understand how search actually works in the context of AI. We need to come up with better algorithms, better ways to represent knowledge and information, and better ways to guide the AI's search process.
So it's like we've given AI this powerful tool, but we're still learning how to use it properly.
Exactly. And then there's the whole issue of making sure these AI systems are being developed and used responsibly. What about the ethical implications? What are the risks? What safeguards do we need to put in place so things don't go off the rails?
That adds a whole other layer of complexity to things.
Yeah.
But before we get into the ethics of AI, I want to go back to something you said earlier about AI learning more like humans do. If AI is getting better at things like reasoning and problem solving, what does that mean for us?
It's a question that comes up a lot, and I think it's important to remember that AI, even super advanced AI, is ultimately a tool. It's something we can use to enhance our own abilities, to solve problems that have stumped us before, and to create a better future.
So it's not about AI replacing humans, but about working together.
Exactly. And who knows what amazing things we could accomplish together. Imagine AI helping us cure diseases, develop new energy sources, or explore space. The possibilities are incredible.
I see the potential there, for sure. But it makes you wonder, if AI is getting so good at things we used to think were uniquely human, like reasoning and problem solving, what will set us apart in the future?
That's a deep question. Maybe it's things like our creativity, our empathy, our compassion.
Yeah.
Maybe it's our ability to appreciate beauty, to connect with each other emotionally, or to find meaning in the world.
Or maybe it's something we haven't even thought of yet. But before we go too far down that rabbit hole, let's bring it back to AI and search. We've talked about the potential, but are there any downsides, any limitations we need to be aware of?
That's a great question. And we have to be realistic. No technology is perfect. One potential issue with search-based AI is that it could lead to systems that are too autonomous. Systems that make decisions without us understanding why or how.
So we need to strike a balance between giving AI the freedom to explore and making sure we still have some control.
Right. We have to think about those unintended consequences and build in safety measures to make sure these powerful AI systems stay aligned with our values and goals.
This is starting to feel like something straight out of science fiction.
I know. It's mind-blowing to think about all the possibilities and the challenges too, but it's a conversation we need to be having now while AI is still developing so rapidly.
You're absolutely right. This isn't just some abstract topic for scientists. It's something that affects all of us. And we need to be talking about what kind of future we want to create with AI.
Absolutely. We need to be open and honest about the potential risks and benefits and work together to make sure this technology ultimately benefits everyone.
We've covered a lot of ground today, but I feel like we've only scratched the surface. There's so much more to explore, so many more questions to ask.
That's what makes this field so exciting. It's always evolving, always challenging us, and always pushing the boundaries of what we thought was possible.
It's definitely a wild ride. But before we wrap up this part of our deep dive, I want to leave our listeners with something to think about. If search is really the key to unlocking AGI, what does that tell us about how our own minds work?
Ooh, that's a good one. Are our own thoughts, those moments of insight and creativity, are they just more sophisticated forms of search? It's definitely something worth pondering.
Join us next time as we continue exploring this incredible frontier and dive even deeper into what this potential shift in AI means for the future. Welcome back to the Deep Dive. We've been on quite a journey, exploring the world of artificial general intelligence and the idea that it might be closer than we think.
Yeah, we've covered a lot. From the ARC benchmark and test time training to the power of search in AI development.
My head is still spinning a little bit. But one of the most interesting ideas we talked about is that AGI might not arrive with a big bang. It might just kind of sneak up on us.
It's like that boiling frog analogy from the TI Grid video.
Oh, right.
If you heat the water slowly enough, the frog won't even realize the danger until it's too late. Are we so focused on these individual milestones in AI that we're missing the bigger picture?
So AGI could be emerging gradually, right under our noses, and we wouldn't even know it.
It's a possibility. And it brings up a pretty important question. If AGI does emerge that way, how will we even know it's happened? Will there be a clear moment, or will it be more of a gradual shift?
That's a tough one. Maybe instead of looking for one big aha moment, we should be paying attention to the patterns, those subtle changes in what AI can do.
I think you're onto something. We might start seeing AI consistently outperforming humans in areas we always thought were unique to us.
Like imagine AI writing best-selling novels or composing these incredible symphonies that move people to
Or
tears.
maybe making groundbreaking scientific discoveries that change our understanding of the universe.
It's pretty mind-blowing to think about.
It definitely is. A future full of potential, but also some uncertainty.
Even if we can't pinpoint exactly when AGI arrives, it seems like understanding these mechanisms, like those search-based approaches, is crucial. It gives us a framework for understanding how AI is evolving.
Definitely. If search really is the key to unlocking AGI, then focusing on that could speed up our progress, for better or worse.
And that brings us back to the ethical side of things. If we're creating AI that can reason, solve problems, maybe even outthink us, how do we make sure this incredible power is used for good?
That's a big question, isn't it? And there's no easy answer. We need to be really thoughtful about this. It's going to take collaboration. Scientists, policymakers, ethicists, everyone needs to be involved.
We need to have these open conversations about the potential risks and benefits and work together to create a future where this technology actually makes the world a better place.
Exactly. We need clear ethical guidelines, safety protocols, you name it. AGI needs to be developed responsibly in a way that benefits all of us.
This whole conversation has been pretty mind-blowing, but it feels like we've only scratched the surface of this massive, ever-changing topic.
That's the thing about AGI. There's always more to learn, more questions to ask, more perspectives to consider.
It's definitely a journey, but it's one that requires curiosity, critical thinking, and a willingness to embrace the unknown.
And ultimately, it's a journey we're all on together. The future of AI isn't set in stone. We're all shaping it with every choice we make, every question we ask.
That's a really empowering thought. It's also kind of scary, to be honest. But it just shows how important it is to stay engaged in this conversation.
Absolutely. To our listeners, keep exploring, keep asking those tough questions, and stay curious about the possibilities of AGI. Dive deeper into the stuff we've talked about. Challenge your own assumptions.
Who knows? Maybe you'll be the one who makes the next big discovery in AI. The future is in all our hands.
That's right. And until next time on The Deep Dive, keep searching, keep learning, and keep your minds open to all the incredible things that might be just around the corner.
We'll see you next time.